Okay, I figured it out. We should be going live any second now.
Yeah, we are live.
You're live. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Patrick Engro from Games. I'm here with my partner, Carolina. I'm going to go ahead and switch our video here. Just give me 1 second. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. We're also here with Mao and Amy. They're going to be helping us moderate the discussion. So if you guys have questions for us, they'll let us know and we'll be able to answer those. We can answer the questions in English or Japanese. So feel free to ask. Also Portuguese, actually. We're also joined by Masayoshi Ninomiya. He is our illustrator. So if you have any questions about the artwork or the illustrations or really anything about his work, feel free to ask. He'll be happy to answer those. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to start by showing off the games that we have. We have 3 games that came out over the past year. We unfortunately didn't have a chance to show them off at the game market, so we're treating this as an opportunity to do that. The 3 games we have, you may have heard of already. If not, it's fine as well. We have Okazaki, Reach, and Thru the Appalachian, which is our most recent one. So we'll be talking about these games as well as revealing some information about our upcoming game that we have coming to Kickstarter this summer. So I think we'll go ahead and start with talking about Okazaki. Carolina is going to be sharing her screen, and we're going to show you some of the game on top of the table here. Again, if you have any questions along the way, just please let us know. Send something in the chat. You can also send it through Twitter, through at Japan Board Gamer. Use the hashtag virtual booth. It'll help us find the tweet and respond to it in a more easy manner. Okay, you guys should now be able to see the tabletop. So Carolina is going to go ahead and start by showing off Okazaki. Okazaki is a game that's based off of the Okazaki fragment. If you are familiar with your biology, it's basically the way that the lag sequence writes the particular DNA strand as it replicates. Okazaki was a Japanese scientist, so we really wanted to honor the Japanese culture with using his name on the game. This game is a 2-player game. It can actually be played solo as well, but basically what you're going to be doing is attempting to replicate a DNA sequence. It's made up of 18 identical cards. So every card is exactly the same. There's 4 sides to the card. They have a top and a bottom, and then a reverse side that also has a top and a bottom. It also comes with 2 reference cards so that the players can know the abilities that they're going to be activating throughout the game. It comes in this very neat package that Carolina designed. It's a button string envelope. It's made with very nice paper from. It's a little.
People can see the texture.
It's a little hard to see, but there's a very nice texture to it. Yeah, it's like a linen finish, but it's just paper, no cardstock or anything like that. And we have the printing of the English summary on the envelope itself. However, we do have Japanese rules available, both online, and we have them printed as well. And if anyone orders a copy in Japan, we would send you the rule book as well. These are available, as I said, as PDF form. Same thing with the English rules, and the Portuguese rules will be available shortly as PDF as well.
Patrick, can I make a question?
Yes.
Can people order the game right now?
Yes, that is a good question. The games are, in fact, available to be purchased right now. We don't have a very large amount of stock, but we do have some of the stock left. If you want to order the games, you can go to engrogames.com/shop. Actually, the link is in the description, so you can click on that there. Okazaki is 1,500 yen, which is equivalent to approximately 1450 in USD. We also have a small expansion for Okazaki, which we'll be showing off in just a second. Sure, we can show that off now. In case you want to include the expansion, it includes this the stamped envelope, bag. It's a muslin bag, so it's very light but strong. It comes with a first player marker, which is super cute. It's a DNA marker. This would, it's not necessary to play the game with the DNA marker, but it does make it a little bit easier to see which player is the first player on a given turn.
I think we got a lot of feedback from playtesters that having a first player marker was definitely helpful to remember what was happening.
Yeah. Again, not necessary, but helpful. This expansion was originally made for the Kickstarter. It came free with the Kickstarter. However, we do still have some of them available, and we are selling them on the site for 500 yen. So the combo, if you want to get both the expansion and the base game, would run you 2,000.
And then you can store your...
Right, yeah. So the bag also is meant to keep your game safe. While the envelopes are very sturdy, they are made of paper, and they will probably get dinged up a little bit over time. So the bag helps you store it and keep it safe. Yeah. Masa, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Do you mind just talking a little bit about the artwork for Okazaki?
Well, Patrick and I, we were brainstorming over what we could do to make this interesting, and just because it involves biology, we thought it could be interesting to turn the card into some sort of how do you call this in English?
Okay. Chalkboard.
Yes, thank you very much. As a chalkboard, and I was starting to experiment a little bit with my with digital painting, and so I thought, okay, I have this one brush that looks like chalk, so let's do this, and
it does really look like chalk.
Yeah.
And so I decided to sketch a little bit, and not to exactly turn it into a perfect symmetric drawing, but try to look as much as possible to a chalkboard in a university where you teach people how to the basics of DNA, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you did a really good job capturing that. It feels like somebody very talented, but somebody went up to the chalkboard and just started drawing on it, and the colors you used as well were really good. Like they really pop on the background, and yeah, I think it came out really good. No, you should be. Okay, sorry, we had a small issue with the
Oh dear.
streaming. And we're back. So while we have Okazaki out, let me just basically give you a little run through of how the game works. As I mentioned, it's mostly for 2 players, but there is a solo mode. The 2 players are going to be essentially racing to replicate a small sequence of DNA. And the game it's kind of complex and simple at the same time. There's a lot you can do with very little. Because the cards are all identical, we had to try to cram a lot in there as far as what you could do with it. So basically, yeah, you can go ahead and set up. So basically, what you would do is you would shuffle the cards, rotating them and flipping them so that you get a nice distribution. I think that's fine. Once you've done that, you just put 5 cards out in the middle of the 2 players. The 2 players would then be trying to replicate this sequence. So the 1 player, the 2 players will sit across from each other. One player is going to be replicating what they see on this side. You can handle that.
So like C, A, C.
Yep. And then the other player.
G, T, T.
Right. And each player would have a hand of 6 cards. And then the remaining card would go into the play area. Like that. And basically what the players are going to be doing are playing cards from their hand into the play area in order to form base pairs. So if you're unfamiliar, base pairs essentially the basic need in order to write. You need to have a base pair formed. Once the base pair is formed, that can be written into a DNA sequence. So you're going to be essentially doing that with the game. You're going to be trying to form base pairs and then writing them into the sequence. You're going to be able to activate all sorts of abilities throughout the game that allow you to flip and rotate cards. Yeah, so
Insert.
yeah, so you'll be able to insert things into your sequence. You'll be able to fix things that are incorrect in your sequence. You'll be able to delete things from your sequence. In addition, you'll be able to mutate the cards that are in your hand as well. So because every card is identical, you're going to be having to manipulate the cards in your hand so that they become different than the other ones. So for example, you could take the A and then you could flip it and it would become a G. And
if you have a G,
you can flip it to become a T. So all throughout the game, you're going to be manipulating, trying to form base pairs and write into your sequence. It's a very heady game, and it's a game that I think requires a lot of strategy and tactics. And it definitely has, I believe, at least it has more to it than would first appear in terms of the strategy. Like the first time you play it, you will probably not quite grasp the best strategy, but over time you get a little bit better at it, and you can start to do pretty unique things with the maneuvers.
So maybe what I wanted to say is like you can reach all the like A, T, G, C with just the abilities in the cards. Right?
Yeah.
So A goes to G, G goes to T, T goes to C.
Yeah.
Right. So
So you're never stuck. And there's always a solution. Getting to the solution is the difficult part, especially when you're racing against an opponent. The solo mode is basically the same. You're just trying to write the sequence twice, and you're racing against time.
Goes here, like this, right?
Yeah.
And then you have one last card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just goes in the pile.
It's just 4.
What ends up happening in the solo mode is you get a very puzzly experience, mapping out how you're going to get the sequence written twice before your hand runs out and before the deck runs out is a very, very big challenge. I'll put a link into the description, but somebody has done a live stream of the playthrough of Okazaki solo mode. It would be worth checking out if you're interested.
We also did a
we
playthrough.
did a playthrough of the 2-player version, which is linked in my channel, so you can go check that out at any point. Also, the Gallery Game channel did a review of Okazaki, did a very good job explaining it, and he's a great reviewer, so be sure to check that out as well. He does a lot of good stuff, and if you're unsure about the game, I'm sure his review will help you to decide whether it's for you. But that's Okazaki. Again, it's available on our shop. 1,500 yen for the base game, 500 yen for the bag and the DNA meeple. And yeah, we have a number of them available for now. So if you're interested, go ahead and hop over to engrogames.com/shop and check it out. So that's
Can I jump in?
Yes.
So first, Kara, when you speak, I don't think you're too close to the mic. Can you speak either louder or closer to the mic? But the thing I want to say is the Tenchi Pioneer thinks the game looks pretty cool, and I agree, looks pretty cool. So thanks for the comment, and also say that people can comment anytime on the chat that I'm following.
Sorry, you cut out there at the end.
Yeah.
People can comment on the chat at any time on YouTube that I'm following them.
Yeah, thanks, Mo. Yeah, and thank you,
Tenchi Pioneer.
Tenchi Pioneer. Thank you for saying the game looks cool. I'm glad that you think so.
Do you want me to talk about the envelope or no?
Maybe after we show off Reach, we can talk about the envelopes together. Okay, so that is Okazaki. We're going to be moving on now to talk about Reach. Reach is a very different game than Okazaki. Again, it's for 2 players, but it is cooperative. And it's it's more of an experience than anything. So yeah, we'll be showing that off in just a second.
Reach already comes in the bag. Right. Reason being.
Try to speak up because I wasn't able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Reach already comes in the bag. Reason being because we have some badge reels and badge holders. And then.
Yeah, so this is just the base game. It comes with the badge reels, the badge holders, and the envelope. The badge reels, this was again something that we unlocked in the Kickstarter, but these would, because Reach is, as I said, a very unique game, you're actually going to be moving around in open space when you play this game. So the badge reels help you do 2 things. It allows you to keep your reference card available to you. Thank you. We are attaching our badge reels now. It allows you to keep your reference card available so you can easily reference your actions and what you can do. I think it's because it's timing out. So yeah, we have our badge reels on. You can see them here. Sorry, we'll be back on the table in a second. But yeah, so it allows you to keep your reference cards on your person. In addition, at some point, you may need to get rid of cards from your hand, and you can store them in your badge holder. This allows you to have somewhere to put them. If you don't want to just put them on the ground or stuff them in your pocket, you can put them in the badge reel to keep them safe. Again, this is a button string envelope game. So we used pretty much the exact same packaging we use for Okazaki, just a slightly different paper. And this, again, is an 18-card game. All these cards, unlike Okazaki, are unique. and there's 2 highly asymmetric roles. One person will be in control of the field engineer, who was on the shuttle when it was hit by an asteroid. The field engineer gets hurled out into space, and they are actually in the game going to be rotating out of control into space. The commander needs to go out and save them before they run out of oxygen. Yes. So the game,
Typical Monday.
typical Monday. That's why Garfield hated them so much, I guess. So yeah, you can see the badge holders hold the cards in nicely. We have some plans for the badge holders in the future, which we might get into today, but
More secrets.
but yeah, so you're going to be playing a very different game depending on whether you are the commander or the field engineer. You have an entirely different deck.
So this one first.
Yes. This is the commander. So a lot of the tools for the commander are related to tethers and oxygen tanks and jetpacks and stuff like that. So you're going to be doing a lot of moving and getting further from the ship and closer to your partner. Meanwhile, the field engineer is just attempting to control their momentum, alter their momentum, and restore their oxygen as much as possible with using the tools that they have on their person. And the game's going to end when you run out of oxygen. On the backside of the cards are events, and these represent anytime an event card is visible, this represents a loss of oxygen. So if you ever have a hand that is completely full of the event cards, you've run out of oxygen and you lose the game. Yeah, something like that. So your objective as the field engineer is just to survive as long as possible
until
the commander can save you. Of course, you have some ways to mitigate that as the field engineer. You can throw cards, you can reach out to the commander using cards. There's a lot of mechanics in this game that you probably have never seen before in another game. It's something that actually motivated me to make this game was, don't know if anybody's familiar, but there's an exhibition that Japan, where was it? Do you remember where it was from?
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
Do you remember where the exhibition was?
I don't remember where it was, but it's what is a game?
Yeah,
is it a game?
Is this a game? Yeah, the Is This Game exhibition is a really cool exhibition. If you ever have an opportunity to see it, definitely check it out. It's basically designers like myself, and they're making games that are different in some way. They break the laws of what we think is a board game. It doesn't have, the normal components, or it has things that you do that you wouldn't normally do in a board game. And that was sort of the inspiration behind this game. So that's why it's more of an experience than a typical board game. It certainly has a replayability because there's a number of different things you can do. But yeah, it's something you have to try once really to understand. It's just a really wonky experience.
At the end of the day, it's still a game.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
like it has a winning loss
Yeah.
condition. It's just not played on a table.
Not played on the table. Yeah, so you will need some space to play this game. We recommend about at least 10 steps in any direction. So this is a great game to play outdoors if you're at the park, or if you have a large space in a convention, something like that. But we do
somewhere where you can throw cards.
Yeah, because you're gonna be throwing cards. You're gonna be spinning. You're gonna be doing lots of physical movements throughout the game.
I think a common question is about the steps, like how big your steps should be, or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, so you'll be taking steps throughout the game, and it's really up to you how big of the steps you want to take. We recommend that you just take a normal step as you move, and if you're playing with children, maybe match the steps that they take. Yeah, it's pretty open to you how you do. We recommend just keeping it normal.
Just the pivoting maybe also.
Right. So
you have to like fix one leg.
Yeah, so your rotation is going to be like with your one leg planted, you're going to rotate. And you're going to be changing 90 degrees, 180 degrees, depending on your ongoing momentum. And every round, your momentum is going to continue because you're in space. So you have to be able to do that in the open space. We do, however, have an expansion for the game, which is basically taking that experience and putting it into a tabletop game. So we're going to show that now. Again, this is a game that is available on our website. The Reach base game is 2,000 yen, and the expansion is 1,000 yen. Comes with this it's a very beautifully made washi playmat.
Oh yeah, so it's very thin.
It's extremely thin, but very strong.
Yeah,
it would be difficult to rip.
Even
and it folds up very nicely. We can
Don't orange them.
It actually fits directly in the envelope. So if you want to store it in the envelope, you can.
So it comes there's two different sizes.
Yeah, there's two different sizes to the playmat, one for the field engineer and one for the commander.
There is a starting position.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little hard.
It's a little hard to see, but yeah. So there's starting positions for our little amazingly cute astronaut meeples, which we'll be showing right now. Maybe bring it a little closer. Yeah. So
thank you, Masa.
Yeah, Masa designed these astronauts. They are really cool. You notice that they are single-sided. That's so that you can have an orientation, so you know which side is your front and your back. They face towards this one. Yeah. So you want to really make sure the playmat's flat, because as it is folded, it gets very compact, but you can fold it the other way, and then all of a sudden it's pretty flat. So you place your meeples on there, and you're going to be using this grid to move the astronauts as if you would move your own. We have a small disc as well. This was also, as you may recognize, it's from the logo of Reach. This was also designed by Masa as well. The disc is going to be used to simulate throwing items between each other. So as we mentioned earlier, when you throw items, you're going to actually physically throw the card. In many instances, your teammate could catch the item that you throw, and then that would go into their hand. So to simulate that, we actually have the small disc, as well as the reference cards will be our...
Oh, right. So now we don't need...
Yeah, we don't need the badges, so we're taking our reference cards out and we're placing them here. And these are used for determining the distance of the throw. So depending on how far away you are from each other, it's going to be more difficult to throw to each other. And basically, you're going to be flicking the disc from one card to the other. It's very difficult to do, but we have done it successfully a couple times. It took multiple tries, but
the thing is, we had to incorporate the throwing of the cards and the dexterity of Reach into
the table.
The table, yeah.
So, I mean, the angle, normally you'd be sitting on one side of it, but basically the objective would be to land it on this card. If you landed on the card, then you would, you would be able to receive that card and put it into your hand. She's having a bit of an issue. Okay. Well, yeah. So this condenses it down to tabletop. So actually, I saw in the comments, the Gallery Game Channel, thank you for tuning in. We just mentioned you a few moments ago. So they do some reviews. Feel free to check out their channel. They do some really great stuff. So with the Reach game, you can play it on the tabletop if you have the expansion. So without the expansion materials, you would be forced to play in the large area. But
COVID is not.
yeah,
really
it's
nice
been a bit difficult to be able to see people and get into spaces that you could actually play this. But with the tabletop mode, you could actually play it anywhere, pretty much.
I think recently we've just been playing the table mode.
Yeah, I mean the regular mode is a really great experience, and I would say it's one of those things that you just have to try. But
It's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like the best way to experience it. But we find that we end up playing the table mode more because of the fact that it's just a little bit easier. We can just pop it on our coffee table and start playing. So yeah, that's the table mode. There are some slight differences between it, but I think it captures the essence of Reach in a pretty good way. It keeps some of the dexterity elements and has you still focusing on the same sort of puzzle that you focused on in the non-table mode, which is figuring out how to get close to your partner and how to use your tools in a way that's going to be efficient. Yeah, and actually, let's just real quick, the way that the game ends in the standard Reach mode is by grabbing hands. So you need to get close enough to each other to grab hands.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think Mesa should talk about
I gotta
that.
say, man,
For this game, it's just amazing.
this is one of the. I had a lot of fun creating this one.
Yeah, tell us a bit about your experience with the art, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Well,
to put this together.
it was quite a challenge because we were trying to create something that was a bit retrofuturistic, if possible. Nothing too advanced, but also it had to look like something that an engineer in the 50s would think, oh, this is what the futures look like. So like I even thought about putting a goldfish bowl, instead of a helmet. The jetpack has some, has some. I don't know if I can say this out loud in this, but I will say that it has the jetpack itself has some elements from a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, and lastly,
nobody's listening.
I don't know how far I can go in, but yeah, and also this if you put all the items together, you form a bigger picture, right? All the cards together form a
I'm
bigger
working
picture.
hard here.
Yeah, so I thought, because I got this from my experience with playing Magic. I don't know how to play Magic, so instead of playing, I would just buy the cards and just put them on a display and be like, oh, look how beautiful it is. And some of the cards, they could actually form a bigger picture,
Okay, here it
And
is.
so I thought to myself, you know what? Of course, the rules are right there, but when you put the cards away, why not try to put them in a display,
Yeah.
and make people feel, and make like you bring the girl to your house or bring all your friends to your house, and be like, oh, is this Reach? Like, yeah, man, Reach.
Yeah, I think you did an amazing job with that. Like when you first told me the idea about making a scene out of it, I was pretty blown away. Because I did never came to me to do that. So I mean, it has no impact on the gameplay, but I think it's just so cool that it's like a little Easter egg thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, kind of an Easter egg, kind of like just a plus, just be like, hey, this is what you can do. You can also do this video game.
And it also, I don't know, for me at least, it feels like you play with a part of the manual.
Yeah.
It's like as the player, I'm like remembering pieces of the manual and like trying to do things.
Yeah, imagine it's like the engineer is flying away into space and he just he pulls out the manual from his pocket and be like, what can I use?
Oh well, I was thinking more in my head, but sure, yeah. Like, just wait a second. Page 5.
Yeah. Yeah, and even there's a little scene also on the back, right? With the like pretty much telling the story of what happened to the ship and the astronaut and the engineer
actually,
and
right?
We made postcards out of the artwork for Reach because it was so cool what Massa did with this. This one here is the events. I'm sorry, the tools. So that's what we laid out before. These are basically the things you're going to be using to do things throughout the game, and the events are on the other side here. And as Massa was saying, it forms a little scene where you can see like the commander like reaching out of the shuttle, like, oh no, where did my engineer go? And the engineer is just like floating out into space.
Oh yeah, right here where my finger is. Right?
Yeah.
Tiny dot.
Yeah, so it's very cool. And
so we also have some like nice signed.
Yeah, Massa hand signed some of these, which we have some article on there. We have some of those available also on our site if you're interested in picking up a hand signed postcard. They also, you can send these to people. They have on the back side.
Yeah, right.
They're just standard postcards. You can write a little note, put a stamp on there and send it over if you want. But yeah, these are available. They're for 500 yen on our site for the ones that are signed, or if you just want the postcards themselves, we also have them available for 100 yen each. So yeah, it's
hella cool kids.
Hella cool kids. It's really amazing what Massa did. I think there's a certain sense of it is very like, what would a scientist or a sci-fi person back in the 50s, what would they think the future is going to look like, and how would they see this through? And combining that with the making of the manual and the scenes, it all comes together to be a very nice package.
Do you want to?
Does anybody have any questions? Mal, do you want to jump in with anything, or?
I'm good here.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, that was our first two releases.
They came together.
They came together in our initial Kickstarter. They're both the button string envelopes. These were hand designed. As I mentioned, Carolina designed them. Do you want to talk about them a little bit?
Sure, we can talk about them. So creating this was a bit of a challenge.
Oh, can I just?
Can I jump in?
Show the.
Yes.
So someone in the chat is saying that your room looks like as a board game shop.
Well, it's almost.
If I told you this was the only board games we have, I'd be lying. Yeah, we have quite a few. We enjoy when we're not designing and creating the games. We love to play.
Fun facts. That's actually how we met.
Yes, we met because we were talking about board games, and yeah.
I mean, yeah. His very first question was,
What's your favorite board game? It was like the test question.
The test question.
If she says Monopoly, if she says Zombicide,
Then we have a deal.
yeah. So yeah, we have quite a bit of board games. We love playing. We haven't had much time to play, but we are definitely looking forward to playing a lot.
We have so many Japanese games that are like 3 or more players.
Yeah.
And we can't just play them.
Yeah, that's been the difficulty. And actually, I think maybe part of the motivation behind these designs, designing them for small player counts, 1 to 2 people, was partially because of the coronavirus. I think it was a lot of people are having trouble playing in groups. Like we can't play the games that play 3 or more players because we're pretty much stuck at home most of the time. So yeah, we designed part of this for the reason of like,
and also because we like playing games.
yeah, we like
together,
playing
right?
games together. So 2 players is always a good count. But so soon, hopefully, we'll be able to play some of these other games.
Oh yeah, so you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that similar to Okazaki, we have the Japanese rule books for Reach, both the base game and the table mode. So if you order from the shop, we will send you a copy of this. The rule books are available again online at my my website, engrogames.com/files. So if you ever want to check that out, just go ahead and take a look. You'll be able to read over it before you buy, or even reach out to me and ask me some questions if something's unclear. I actually, while we're on the rule books, I did just want to quick mention, give a shout out to our translators.
Oh, right.
This one was translated by Paper Crane Translations, Samuel Allen and his partner Kaori. They did an amazing job with this game. They went above and beyond to make sure that the translation was good, to make sure that things made sense for them, and I would really recommend them. You can check out their website in my description of this video if you want. Okazaki and the next game that we'll be showing were translated by Maisie Hatchard and Kei Koji. Their website is also, Maisie's website is also linked in the description. They also did a wonderful job.
I think both games came
Yeah.
out like quite good
Yeah.
in Japanese.
So definitely, if you want to reach out to them and just let them know like they did a good job, or just check out their stuff. And if you ever have any needs in translating something from or to Japanese, I highly recommend both of them. So yeah, just wanted to give a quick shout out about that. And then,
So should I?
yeah, go ahead and continue with the envelopes.
Sorry. So a couple of things went to creating the envelopes for the games. One of the main thing is that you can see we have a lot of board games, and we don't have space for more. and in Tokyo, our house is quite small. I mean, nowadays it's also a little better, but I used to live alone on a 19 square
19.
meter. How much is that in?
I don't know, a very small amount.
So combining my passion for board games and space was a must.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to make it as minimal as possible, but at the same time we wanted to stand out. So as you can see, like the front of the envelopes is like foiled, and we use the texture paper, and like I don't know, I really like this. It looks like rocks.
Yeah, this came out really good.
Really good. And so Okazaki is more classy. I think
Yeah.
like it's just very slick, very nice, but shiny also. So part of that was also like the box. My feeling of the box is that they're usually like just to hold the components. So one of the things that I wanted to do in the purpose of like minimizing it was to have the envelope be part of the playing of the game.
Mhm.
So we wanted to use like the envelope as to hold the rules.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we couldn't put the whole rule book in it.
Yeah.
But we at least could. We could put like a summary of the rules.
Yeah.
So it has like a nice flow to it.
Yeah, yeah. It's for the typical game, like if you were to try to play just off of what you see here, you might have a little trouble. This is really just a reference. Once you know how to play the game, if you want to like quick check something, just pop back into the envelope and you'll be able to find out.
I also think like if you haven't played in a while,
Yeah,
you don't have to read the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a good
probably.
refresher.
Yeah.
So
it has like set up the phases of the game, and then some like reference to the cards and its abilities and the corners. The actions that you can do. Setup.
Yeah, sample
Yeah,
setup.
simple setup and other things. So I think it's quite complete. It's just not detailed.
Yeah, there's some like minor exceptions to the rules that you might come across, and those sorts of things you'll want to read the full rule book for. And while we did sort of settle, like we wanted to include the full rules, but in the end we would have had to make the font just too small and too compact in order to do that. So we felt that this was a good compromise to put the summary on there.
Yeah. So a few more things that went into the creation of the envelope was so we wanted to, as much as possible, produce with local materials. So the papers are locally produced in Japan. Should we mention like
I don't see why not.
Like the nice people at Takeo? They have such a huge and amazing like selection of paper. It was actually really hard to narrow down.
Yeah, it was.
We went there like 3 times, I think.
And we ordered samples online, and we spent a lot of time deciding on the papers, but partially because they had so many that were just so nice. And it's all locally produced. The leather too is
the leather is also Japanese,
locally produced.
I mean, it was our first creation, so it was also a lot of learning. So as all we could, we tried to make with Japanese components, but I mean, of course, it was impossible. I think at that time to do everything. We didn't know a lot.
Yeah, like the meeples, for example, were actually these were made in Poland.
Yeah. What was the name?
They're Meeple Realty.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job.
Yeah, they did a good job. So yeah, that's one of the components we had made outside of Japan. The playmats also, as we mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, the company that manufactured these did such a good job. We were so pleased with them.
It was like even better than we expected. Yeah. And I don't know if it's hard to see, but you can see the fiber of the washi through the printing. It's beautiful. The last thing was to try to incorporate Patrick's request of fitting an expansion into the envelope. So in the future, we will have an expansion, right? Coming
Yeah.
up.
So just to jump in and piggyback off of that, one of my pet peeves in board gaming is when I get a box and it's does not fit the expansion of the new game that I buy an expansion and that expansion does not fit into the old box. It's a weird thing because I'm not super happy when there's a box that is too big and there's extra room, but I would rather have a little bit extra room to fit the expansion in than not. So I didn't want to, and this is a very small package we have here. So it was a very big challenge when I said to her, like, I want to be able to fit an expansion in here
without changing the size.
Without changing the size that much. Yeah.
So right now, the envelopes, you put the cards in the middle, and then you fold, and close, right? So in the future, you'll be able to put your expansion in the second slot here, and you will close exactly the same. It has like some extra marks that will fold a little different, but you will be able to just close everything. And it will be just a little thicker, but yeah, it should close as well. And now,
yeah.
So that was a lot of try and error.
Yeah, it was an amazing job with the design, though.
Thank you.
To pull it off. And so I guess a good time to mention is that while we are starting to run a little bit lower on the copies of this edition, this is like the limited edition. We love the envelopes and we like making them and we love everything about them, but they're also extremely time consuming and we do have other projects that we are trying to focus on. So we're not 100% sure we're going to keep making these. So if you are interested in the envelope, the limited edition envelope versions, then definitely get those now while you still can. But we will be supporting them going forward. Like we said, the expansion will fit.
So yeah, if you buy the expansion in the future, you can
just pop it right in. So
maybe we should talk about
so actually, that was a good time to. And actually, there was a question in the chat. Mao, do you think you can jump in and?
Yeah, we are on the Okazaki sheet.
Okay, good.
But also to mention that people are really praising Carol's packaging, how it's saving on space and how cool it looks.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Thank you. It's not easy, but I'm very proud of the result.
So in addition to and we're running a little bit over time for Reach Okazaki, but we'll sort of show one more thing with that. So at the game market in the fall, we announced that we were going to be releasing a bundle that includes both Reach and Okazaki. Because they were designed together, they're both micro games, both came out at the same time. We thought it'd be nice to include a single package that has both of them. So we haven't actually released. Yeah, these are in Japanese on the box. This was meant to be a game market exclusive, but unfortunately we haven't been able to attend the game markets due to COVID. But we do have them available on our site now, and they come with everything for both Okazaki and Reach. Both the envelope, the bags, the meeples, the playmat, the badges, all of that. and it all comes in one nice box, very tiny box. Also, again, we wanted to think about conserving space. So yeah, this is a option if you're interested in getting both games. We have it available on our site for 4,500 yen. So it's slightly discounted as opposed to getting both the games separate. If you were to buy separately, I believe it would be 5,000. So you save 500 yen and you get this nice limited edition box to store everything. And of course, it still comes with the bag, and the envelope. So if you want to take them out of the box and just put them in your pocket, take them to the local izakaya and play from there, you can do that.
Local izakaya is going to be a long way down the road, I would say.
Well, at some point. But yeah,
Go to the local park now.
So this is available on the website as well.
It will be available for like a limited amount of
Yeah,
time.
so it's really only going to be available during until it's sold out. We have about 50 copies left. So if you're interested in that, feel free to hop on that, and then you'll be able to get both games at once. So
I think that was it for Reach Okazaki.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on those games. The game that we, unless there's any questions or anything, we're going to jump over to the newest game that we released this year, is Thru the Appalachian.
What a nice box.
Thru the Appalachian is if you're unfamiliar, it's a hiking trail that spans across the eastern United States. It's a very long hiking trail. It's the type of trail that you would spend approximately 5 to 6 months hiking on in order to complete it. And this game actually simulates the process of hiking all the way through the Appalachian Trail. You'll notice that the box is like very old, like sort of like an old book. Sort of the feeling we wanted to go for, something that feels natural.
So it's cloth on the top,
Yeah.
foiled again. So we are keeping the inside. Maybe just a sneak peek.
Yeah, just a very small sneak peek. Yeah, I think that's enough. So we, as a present to our backers, we had everyone come up with a name that they wanted on the inside of the box, and I think that's gonna.
Yeah, it's not gonna be right.
Yeah, just set it aside. So we formulated it into a sort of like a sign-in book for the participants, and everyone chose like unique fonts and a unique name, and it looks really cool. But we're gonna keep that as a surprise for the backers since they'll be getting them in the mail soon. Once you open the box, we have a bag.
The bag. It's our trademark.
It's our trademark. Yeah. So this is another essentially component bag, just to keep your components safe, prevent them from rolling around too much, and.
It comes with 5 nice pens.
Yeah, so these are dry erase markers. They have the Thru the Appalachian logo on them, and a eraser at the top. So, which will help me explain the game. This is a roll and write game. If you're not familiar, basically there's going to be a pool of dice that you're going to be using as to do actions on your own personal board. Sometimes these are called paper and pen games. This is a paper and pen game, but we made it into a dry erase, so that way it would be a little bit easier to play and keep the components nice, and you don't have to keep using sheets over and over again. It comes with some cards. These cards are objective cards for the multiplayer game. And then on the back side, there are objectives for the solo game. and there are two different difficulties, so you can rotate them depending on which difficulty you want to do. These cards are printed on
it's a bamboo.
yeah, it's a bamboo pulp, so it's wood free, and yeah, has a very nice texture to them. Also has might be a little hard to see, but it has a gold spot color on the print, so they have this like nice balance between like a rustic and a sort of new shine to it. So we have this little envelope to store the cards, which we
just to protect them from the pen.
Yeah, basically we want to, because these are uncoated. We don't want them to get ruined by the marker, so we thought it'd be nice to have a little envelope for the cards.
This is the English one.
Yeah.
But we can when we show that one.
Yeah. We have a Japanese rule book also, and when you purchase this game, you can select whether you want the English or the Japanese rule book. Of course, both of them will be available online for you to get.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to like keep this going.
And then in addition to the rule book, the markers, the cards, and the dice, we have playmats. And the playmat is going to be where you're playing majority of the game. So there's 5 playmats included in the package, but
You want to show the bottom?
the bottom's also secret for now. The playmats are dry erase as well, so you can write on them and erase it without any issue. They came out absolutely lovely. They have a similar gold spot color as the cards do. But basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using the dice here to take actions on your player. And you're going to play through the whole game this way. Once you're done, just simply erase it, and then you're ready to play again. If you want to have, this game actually plays any number of players. So we do have some extra mats. So if anyone is interested in playing with more people in maybe a convention setting or even playing remotely, which I'll get into a little bit more later, you can add on some additional mats. So we have them in packs of 5. They cost 1,000 yen for the pack. The game itself costs 4,500. And a lot of the cost was just making this a very high quality product, one that's gonna stand out on your shelf and last for a long time.
I think, if you don't mind me jumping in,
Mhm.
The other reason why this is a little more pricey than the other games is the fact that we really try to go as eco-friendly as possible with this game, because the Appalachian is what is it called?
Reserve.
Reserve? Yeah. Like a national reserve? Conservancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. It's the Appalachian Trail Conservancy.
And Appalachian Trail Conservancy. So yeah, for us it was very important that the wood, so the like paper is FSC certified. The ink that we use to print is VOC free. So the dyes are also wood and is FSC wood. So we really tried to embrace the Appalachian spirits into the game, which of course makes it a little more expensive, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Don't know about.
I agree. I think, and I mean, there's a lot of gameplay in it. I mean, I don't think the price is unreasonable. Like I've seen similar games priced around this, and yeah, I think I think you're going to get a really, really cool game to your collection if you decide to get a hold of this.
So if you don't want the die and the pen, right? We have a.
Yeah. So is it okay if I?
Yeah, of course.
So this project was launched on Kickstarter as part of the Make 100 series. If you're not familiar, it's basically where you're handcrafting a limited number, 100 of something. So this project started off originally as a print and play game. What that means is you can go to the conveni, or if you have a printer at your house, you can simply print it and start playing. You can actually still do that. If you want to print it, the files are available on my website.
It's free for everyone.
It's free for everyone to play. However, we wanted to make a physical edition for the folks that maybe just really enjoy the game and want to have a physical edition of it, or for the folks that maybe don't have access to print, or just want to
laminate.
Just want a more useful or resourceful version of the game. So that's why we decided to make this. So it was a Make 100 again on Kickstarter, and we decided to make a few more because of demand. But we don't have that many copies.
This one we have very little.
Yeah, we have maybe after the Kickstarter, maybe like 100 copies left over. Yeah. So if you're interested in the game, definitely hop over to the site and check it out. But we do have two versions of the game. If you are looking for a little more price-friendly version, this is called the Section Hiker Edition. This is another button string envelope. This is going to come with all the printed materials you need to play the game. It is.
Yeah, not the dice, not the pen.
Yeah, so everything besides the dice and markers. So if you have games, or if you want to go print markers from, get markers from Daiso or a dollar store or whatever, you can play the game using this.
You also, so like this is the Japanese.
Yeah, so this is the
rulebook.
Japanese rule book, but you can have the Japanese rule book with either edition of the game. So just let us know which one you want, and then we'll include that one. So yeah, this will come with the cards, the 5 play mats, and the rule book. And this was 2,000 yen on our site, so it's definitely a more cost-efficient way to get the game. If you have your own markers, you can play the game. In addition, we have a dice simulator on our website. So I'm actually gonna, while we're mentioning the dice simulator, I'm just gonna pop over to my website real quick so I can show you. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that there's the rule books and the print and play files. So at my website, engrogames.com/files, you can see that we have the rule books for Reach Okazaki, as well as FAQs and such. And then if you click on the Thru the Appalachian link, it's gonna take a while to load. It has the rules for both English and Japanese, and soon we'll have the rules for Portuguese and German as well. But you can download the playmat directly from here. We have a printer-friendly version, so if you don't want to consume a lot of ink, you can use the printer-friendly version, which drops the background, but it's the same exact material. The same exact file and design that you will receive when you get the game. Obviously, you'll be printing on whatever paper you choose. We do recommend, though, if you print it and play, that you laminate if possible. It just makes it a little bit easier because you're going to be doing some erasing throughout the game. So in addition to that, I was going to mention that we have a dice simulator on our website. If you ever want to play the game, either without the dice or through a remote session, we recommend using this dice simulator that we created. It has the 6 dice you'll need to play the game, and you can just come on here, roll the dice when it's time to take the turn, and then when everyone's finished their actions, you'll just go ahead and roll the dice again for the next round.
So yeah, maybe this is a good opportunity to say that this game came out of COVID. Like,
yeah, this game was designed because of COVID. We created it and we made it for free for everyone, because we knew that the community, the board game community, and just people in general were struggling, being stuck at home, and just not having things to take their mind off of the things that we're dealing with right now. And this was a good way for people to play a new game, and you can play it remotely very easily. And I don't know if we're going to have time today, but at some point we're going to do a live playthrough of Thru the Appalachian, where we'll go through and we'll play the game, and just through Zoom with whoever really wants to join in. So yeah, it definitely was a game that started because I actually never even thought to design it until COVID came around. It was just made for that.
So it was made thinking of remote.
Yeah,
that's why it's so.
Yeah, the game works very well remotely because you don't need to have the materials. Only one person needs to have the dice if you are even using the dice. You can just come on to the site, use the dice here, and screencast it like I'm doing now. And everyone that is in your Zoom chat or your Skype party or whatever, they can play the game. They just need to print out the sheet. If you purchase the game, obviously you'll have the mats. And one of the things that we've heard some people are doing is they're getting extra mats so that they can share them with their friends, and then they can play like online even while COVID is still an issue, or with friends from across the world. So if you're tuning in from Germany and you want to play the game with us, you can do that very easily. So
people can buy just the expansion pack also.
If you just want the playmats, you're welcome to buy those. As I mentioned, those are
like to send to friends.
Yeah.
Like if you have the copy of the game and you just want your friends to have like the mat.
Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna, assuming that this is still, I'm gonna hop over to the shop just to give you an idea of what you'll be looking at. So we have Thru the Appalachian listed as a pre-order now, but this will be shipping out very soon, in the next couple of weeks.
Probably after the 10th.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to wait till after Golden Week to complete the shipments. So if you include Thru the Appalachian in your order, it will be a little bit delayed, but you should be getting it around the middle of May. In Japan, if you're overseas, then obviously it'll take a bit. And speaking of which, we do ship worldwide. The shipping cost is very, very reasonable, but you will, if there's any like customs fees or taxes that are associated with your country, you may incur those. So just be aware that at some point, when you get your package, they may say, "Oh, we need you to pay this amount," because we're handling everything on our side, but we can't say for sure what they're going to do on your end from other countries.
And if your countries have like any restrictions because of COVID, they also might get a little delayed.
Yeah. Some of the places don't have air shipments, so
with Japan.
Yeah, so you're going to be receiving, if you were to place an order now, for example, it might take a month, 2 months, 3 months to get there. We try our best to get them out as soon as we can, but some of the things are just not in our control. And actually, on that note, just a general thing, because a lot of these products are handmade, we try to advise people that to give us at least a week or so after the order so we can get everything together and send it off. So just be aware of that. Even if you order locally in Japan,
It might take like a week.
yeah,
for
it
us to
might take a
send.
week-ish or so to receive those. But taking a look at our site real quick, you can see we have the Thru Hiker, which is the boxed edition. That's 4,500. The Section Hiker, which is the envelope edition, does not include the markers or the dice. That's 2,000. The playmats only, this is for 5 additional playmats, 1,000. Reach without the expansion, and then the expansion here you can add on. The postcards, Okazaki, and then lastly the bundle that we mentioned, the Tokyo Game Market special bundle, which includes both Reach and Okazaki. We also should mention that we accept 3 types of payments. We accept Stripe, PayPal, and if you're in Japan, we accept cash on delivery now. We didn't before, but we do now. If you spend over 5,000 yen in the shop, we will cover the cash on delivery fees ourselves. If not, there's a small fee. I think it's 300 yen for the cash on delivery. But yeah, so if you want to check these out or place any orders, just hop on here and you should be able to do that. And if you have any questions, just let us know.
Masa should talk about Thru the Appalachian.
Yeah, Master, you're still with us?
Yes, I am here.
Cool. So Mesa, oh, do you want to put that back?
Yeah, so we can show that.
Sorry.
What's that?
Give me 1 second. I'm just switching the stream. So right, so this the Thru the Appalachian, as we mentioned, was designed for COVID. So a lot of the graphic design I actually did myself, but we did utilize Massa and his brilliant comic style artwork for some of the iconography. So maybe we can show that off, and Massa can talk a little bit about that.
Yes. On this one, I wasn't sure of how much space I would have available to depict everything. So I decided to keep it simple, pretty much kind of a stick figure-y kind of anime characters, right? And just try, and as I said, like trying to keep it simple. When you reach a certain peak, you just lift the walking stick. Try to show that it's a hike that, as you said, how long did you say it takes around to finish it?
It's around 5 or 6 months.
5 or 6 months, man. I can't even imagine myself running for an hour. So imagine for 5 to 6 months lost in the woods, gasping for air because you're in a high altitude, right? Yeah. So even though of course it must be a beautiful trail, I hope to one day do it. It is tiresome. So it is. I want to also depict that like it's relentless, how relentless it is on some of the icons.
Yeah.
And also Patrick told me, okay, could you draw me a journal? Of course I can. Could you draw me this? Little by little, we started doing all the things. Mm-hmm. And in the end, here we are, with the completed version of it. And I
think the icons came out really well. Like the stick figure-esque. I mean, it's weird because they're very simple, but they have they convey an emotion, I think.
They have character on it. Eh?
Yeah, they have character. It's like you feel the exhaustion in the character that you drew. So yeah, it did a really good job with that, and yeah, I think the simplicity that you use actually ended up being a huge determinant in the direction we went with the graphic design, because we pretty much followed suit with that. I think there's a lot going on in this map because we wanted to put everything on there, but I think we made it fairly clear and well spaced, and like it's easy to determine what's going on after you've read through the rules and seen it once or twice. You should be good to go. Yeah, so I think what you did definitely was good. It played into what we were doing, so it worked out.
Oh, thank you very much. As I said, to be honest, I didn't know how it would look like in the end, but so it was kind of like interesting to imagine, like, okay, I did this, but how is it gonna fit into the rest of it? But as I am happy with the results. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. So actually, I just real quick, because we didn't really explain much about how the game works, but yeah, just small examples. As you can see, there are a few sections of the map. There's the calendar, which is up here. This is how you're going to be tracking the time that passes. It's also
the number of rounds.
Yeah, the number of rounds, and this is going to also determine which weather effects you might face during the round, because some of the game's going to be dealing with the effects of weather, so dealing with snow and rain and excessive heat, these sorts of things.
Which has like a nice summary.
Yeah, so you're going to have a summary of the way that the weather affects you there. And then you have an energy track on the left here, which you're going to use as you move. You're going to use some of your energy in order to move. You're going to be logging journal entries. So you can log a journal entry about any of the things that you can do in the game. So for example, if you want to write a journal entry about the weather you're experiencing, you can do that. You just mark off that particular color. You're going to be taking pictures, collecting stamps. Yeah, so you take pictures throughout the trail, you collect stamps at the shelters, you move throughout the trail. And I think it comes together in a nice balance of you can take multiple strategies in this game. Some people really want to finish. They just want to get to the end of the trail. And that's fine. You can do that. That can be your focus. So you can take a lot of dice to move. So each turn you're going to be selecting from the pool of dice and taking the actions based off of those. So you could choose to take the movement dice over and over again, and you could get to the end. And that's a way to win the game potentially. But you could also choose to take your time, enjoy the taking photos and collecting stamps. And really, yeah, that's her.
That's my
her method. I usually like to push myself to get further down the trail, but you may not always finish the trail, and that's fine. I think part of the joy of the game is the experience. So when we're playing the game, we often despite the fact that we have our own sheets, we're often sharing what we're doing. Like I'm telling her, like, oh man, this weather is just too bad. I can't move right now. I'm gonna stick it out at the shelter and just wait a little bit.
Write in my journal.
Yeah. So you can build a story with this game as much as you want or as little as you want. It's really up to you. So I think it's pretty open in that way, and it'll give you a good experience no matter what strategy you decide to take. Any questions? starting to lose some viewers here.
Oh, we are good on the chat for questions.
We're good on. Okay. All right. So that is Through the Appalachian. Again, we have the 2 editions. It's available on our site now, but they are fairly limited in the number of copies we produced.
Oh, oops.
And then the energy. As I said, it's a great game to play remotely, and we will definitely be doing that at some point, and sharing that live. So definitely join in when we when we do actually play. You can play along with us, or if you just want to watch, that's fine also. So yeah,
Now I think it's time for our big secrets.
Yes. So hopefully we didn't lose too many viewers before this, but we're going to be sharing our upcoming game. So some of you may know it, particularly the people in the chat, but to the public, this is the very first time we're going to be mentioning this game. So, very nervous about that. Let's go ahead and get to it. Our upcoming game. Masa should. Yeah, Masa, are you okay with coming on video?
Oh boy.
It's okay if you're not.
No, wait up. Let me curl my mustache here. Hold on. How do I do this? Hello.
Hey.
Mr. Masa.
So this is our illustrator and graphic designer, Masayoshi.
Hello, guys. Hello.
Brilliant comic artist. And brilliant mustache also.
As usual.
I draw most of the drawings. I just like take the tip of it and then dip it in ink and start drawing. That's the secret. This is why I'm awesome.
I actually at some point I want to make a game that uses that, like for it's going to be Masa's mustache artwork.
The art minds.
So I'm going to be, it's probably going to drop Masa's video anyway, but let's see. I'm going to be sharing my screen again and revealing the cover art of our newest game. And this is a provisional. Masa and myself are still working on it. We'll be revealing the final product soon, but here it is. The Bug Council of Backyardia is our English name. This game takes place in the Kingdom of Backyardia, which is this majestic land where these insects are battling over the power of the council. That's why it's called the Bug Council of Backyardia. So we have 5 factions in this game. There are the bees, the mosquitoes, the cockroaches, the ants, and the flies. So as I said, this is provisional artwork, but this is we have some of the characters here. We're going to be having a lot more characters to show as we progress through this experience, but we have some ants, some flies, some bees, some cockroaches, and mosquitoes. They all have very unique styles, almost unique times also, I would say. Like it's sort of like
Different time periods.
Yeah, different time periods-ish. Yeah, so
what do you say about that, Masa?
It's pretty much a mesh of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so what was the I'll just leave it on the cover for now. What was the inspiration behind some of the factions?
Oh well, it's I don't even know where to start because each of them had a different line of thought. for the creation of it. For example, when it comes to ants, of course they have a very how they call this? They always remind military formation. So I thought to myself, what was the greatest military power that ever existed in the world? They expanded their kingdom. No, I'm not talking about England. To hell with England. I'm talking about the even greater. I'm sorry, my girlfriend over here. She is contesting the information.
I'm not saying it was great. Jesus Christ. I'm saying I'm great. I'm the military power. Don't mistake it.
Back. Okay, wait a second.
The greatest in Masso's opinion.
Okay. As I was saying, one of the greatest military powers in the world was the Roman Empire, and so I thought to myself, okay, it's set. The ants are gonna be Romans, I'm gonna copy all that, centurion style into the ants, even though they like because it's insects, they have exoskeleton. Even though the ants they can look a little bit like chaotic when they are running for food, they actually have each of them has this strict role of keeping the colony, the hive alive.
Actually,
So I went for the Romans. The bees.
Can I just interrupt you for a second, Massa?
What's that?
Let me just interrupt you for a second because I want to show. I think I'm going to show a little bit more of the art here.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to change what I'm sharing here. So I'm actually going to share now the Tabletopia version of the game, which is where we've been doing a lot of our play testing. This will give you an idea of how the game is played. So
I think Massa haven't seen
Massa, I showed Massa recently. So the book Council of Backyardia is a trick-taking game, but it has a very unique twist in that it uses a Mancala. If you're unfamiliar with a Mancala, it's basically clockwise rotation of cubes. So you're going to be using these cubes to shift the power of the suits. So in this particular instance, I've moved the power away from the bees, and now the mosquitoes, the flies, and the ants have become stronger. And so this is more or less how the game is going to be set up. And throughout the game, you're going to be playing tricks in order to not only win the tricks using the power that the suits have, but also to manipulate the power. And eventually you'll be making an allegiance with one of the factions, and that will give you a nice point bonus if you manage to make a particular faction powerful and then ally to them. So it's a very tactical version of a trick taker because you'll be able to manipulate which suits are powerful at which times. So just real quick, while Massa was talking about the ants, I'm going to take some cards into my hand so we can show off a little bit more of the artwork. Sorry, everybody. This the physics engine of Tabletopia is a little bit wonky, but yeah. So this is one of the ants.
Oh yeah.
And right now we're going to be, and this is again provisional. We're going to be, of course, revamping the graphic design as we go. And every single one of the things that we really wanted to do, and this is going to put a lot of pressure on Massa, of course.
Oh boy.
We wanted all the cards to have a unique illustration on them. So Massa is going to be doing a lot of illustrations with these bugs and different types of the bugs. So there's going to be warriors and all sorts of things. So you're going to see a lot of really cool artwork from Massa, but for now it's just going to, all the cards in our sample are just simply the one illustration for the purposes of playtesting only. So this is the ants. At least one of them, you can see like very, very Roman, very warrior, and just super cool. I love this. Like the shield just came out so good. It has like hints of like this tunnel. It sort of reminds me of like an anthill in some way. It's just, yeah, it's really good. So that's the ants. Massa, if you want to keep talking now, I can show them as you go.
Yeah, sure. Well, as I said, the ants, I decided to inspire myself on the Roman Empire, on the Roman centurions. As I had, the challenge is not going to be even draw 12 of them. It's to imagine a unique illustration of each of them. So I'm going to have to do a lot of research. For example, on the Roman on the Roman army's ranks, and how to and what was a special design of each of them in order to come out with this. Or I can I don't want to do just something generic, like okay, this one looks more better than this one. I actually go for a more try to go for a more like a historically accurate version, of the drawing. Moving on to other factions, there is there are the pirates, the flies. And this I wanted to go for pirates because they will raid your food and any time any time of the day if you just let it fly around.
They just get your stuff.
Yeah, they just make themselves at home, pretty much. They will land anywhere they want. They don't care. And so I decided to go. Okay, who else does that? Of course, pirates. Then moving on, if you could show me a roach this time, please.
Roach, yes, indeed.
Roaches.
If I can, I will.
Oh dear.
The roach.
Yeah, the roach. They are very sneaky.
Stealth.
Yeah, it's sneaky and stealthy. So I decided to implement. I am a big fan of.
Here we go.
Yeah, I am a big fan of these fantasy novels, and they always have a thieves guild for some reason. I don't know how they managed to organize such things, but they have a thieves guild, and I thought, okay, let's go for what does give the impression of something sneaky. So the basic would be like, okay, put a short bow and arrow, and how do you call this, a hood,
Yeah.
on top of it, and I can build from here, either like up bigger levels of sneaky persona, or short smaller levels of sneaky guys. And then who else do we have to talk about this? Did I talk about the bees already? The bees?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, well, the bees, the second in they of course have a similar construction, a similar society as the ants, but I thought of making them a bit more royal, because they have this. They are how can I say this? Fluffy, right? They have all this fluffy side here especially on the neck, and I thought to myself, okay, yeah, royalty, all these people, they all have like this beautiful dresses and made of silk and plumage of exotic birds, or even even the pelt of a lion on top of it. So I thought, okay, let's work on that, and it's quite interesting. I mean, so far we only have the drone here on the picture, which is the sole male of the colony, right? And it's not even that important. He dies right after mating, but okay.
Very, very specific.
And but yeah, it's been interesting because I think the bees they have a closer. How can I say it? I can make something even very regal out of them, right? Even the logo over there on the coaster already shows that a little bit. You know, like I tried to go for something very heraldic, 3 bees and the crown. It might change a little bit on that. It might just stay the same. You know, I wanted to start on that one of this, and
actually, jumping back real quick, just these are sort of like the crests for each of the council members. So each of the factions have their own crest, which is going to basically signify their seat in the council. So as you're manipulating the power, you're going to be putting the cubes onto these tiles. We mentioned the ants are sort of like a Roman colony. We have a little Jolly Roger for the flies, which I think came out really cool, and I love this this little nose. I don't even know what to call it.
Proboscis.
Wow.
The specific, the scientific name is proboscis, but you can just say like straw.
Okay. Yeah, I love how it's just like a little hook there. It's just really cool.
So we get art and knowledge.
So yeah, and then we just showed the
cover. I mean, it's my favorite.
Sorry, I have some issues here. Apparently, I click too much on things. Sorry.
I clicked too much.
So the cockroaches, we went with a crest that's more like, stealthy, like a dagger.
Yeah.
I think this is super cool that you incorporated the cockroach into the dagger. Is like, it's pretty brilliant, I think.
To be honest, I have some doubts over the eye in the middle, but then again, you know, it could be like the eye of darkness. We are watching.
It was like a secret society.
Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of.
I mean, they are very secret. They are very secrecy. They do have some secrecy among them, right? You never know where they are until you just like you lift the lid and there they are. It's just like eating some.
They are so quiet and big. Oof. Okay.
And then,
gross for now.
Right. So then the last faction that we have.
And the last faction. Okay. I hope we don't lose any. I hope we don't lose any followers or any viewers with this. But the mosquitoes, I decided to make a small pun with the word musketeer, and this is why they look like that.
Oh.
The mosquito musketeer.
Oh man, it's great. And they also swim.
For some reason, right after I said it out loud, my YouTube algorithm started showing me a lot of the Three Musketeers movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, this works, and as inspiration, I started drawing, trying to convey the not only the clothing but also the movements, of their fencing as they attack the enemy.
Yeah, they're also they're very I don't know. I feel like the mosquitoes are so guarded. They take their time and then they find the perfect time to attack you, which is I think sort of the epitome of a fencer, a musketeer, and just trying
to
just to get that little spot that's going to be as bothersome as possible to you.
Yes. And I don't want to spoil anything, but the mosquitoes, they're gonna have a very interesting progression in the illustrations. But I'm not gonna say anything anymore. I'm gonna leave you all. I'm gonna leave the surprise for when you guys buy the game and actually see it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good.
So actually about that, so this game, I'm gonna pop off the Tabletopia for a second, and I'm gonna bring up, we are already approved for our Kickstarter for this game. We have the link in the description. You can feel free to go there and click notify me on launch. This game will be coming to Kickstarter in the summer. Don't want to say the exact date quite yet, but it shouldn't be too long from now. Say a couple months. It should be live. We are also looking for playtesters to continue our development of the game. So I have a form that I'm going to put in the description of this video. If you want to sign up for playtesting, we can host a session, or even do blind playtesting where we just give you the rules and you guys can try it.
You have the form there?
Yeah, I have the form. I don't know. I don't have it open right now, but I will share that in the description. So yeah, so that is the upcoming game. We are really excited about it. I think it's our other games. I'm gonna break the games into two categories, and if Messa, if you want to jump off the video now, you're welcome to. You can stay on if you want.
Unless you want to
yeah.
like show more. I want to see more for you.
No, I'm just gonna be here stroking my mustache.
Okay, sounds
Okay,
perfect.
sounds good.
So I'm gonna say that like
I'll just off now.
Reach and Okazaki are very unique designs. One, because it's a very small package. I mean, this is 18 cards only, and this is also 18 cards only. These are all identical cards. So this is a sort of a much different experience than you're going to get with Bug Council of Backyardia, which is more of a standard card game with a twist. We're going to still try to keep our charm in that we're going to have some of the things, a lot of the things locally produced. We're going to try to incorporate all the eco-friendly initiatives that we've been doing into the game. But it's going to be a little bit more of a standard package. You'll probably receive it in a box, maybe slightly larger than this one here. It's going to come with the cards, the cubes, the tiles, and we have some really, really cool stuff planned for the Kickstarter. So if you get notified for that and you follow along, we have some interesting things that we're going to be doing with the stretch goals, giving you some new content and some new things to look forward to. Right. So a very important thing is this game is actually designed. So Engro Games is going to be publishing it, but the game is actually designed by Kyle Hanley. He's a designer in the U.S. A friend of mine that I've known for a long time. We've been designing games for years together, and we're finally going to go ahead and publish something together. He came to me with the design, and I fell in love with it. It's just such a well-rounded game, and there's so much tactical like experience within each play. And yeah, as soon as I played it, I was like, yeah, we gotta make this happen. So I'm working very closely with Kyle. He is the lead designer. I am taking on the role of co-designer and developer. And yeah, if you want to check out Kyle at all, he's on Twitter. I believe it's at Bow and Arrow.
And he also has a blog.
Yeah. So his name that you may be familiar, if you've heard of Kyle, you may know him as Boar and Arrow. It's his blog. He writes on there like some really clever articles about games that he plays, top 100 games of the year, stuff like this. So definitely check him out. His website. He's a very funny person, and I can guarantee you're going to see a lot of wit in the rule book because Kyle's going to be working closely on that. But yeah, you can check out his website. It's in the description. And then if you want to follow him on Twitter, it's at Boar and Arrow with underscores between the words Boar and Arrow. So I'll pop that in the chat right now. Yeah, so like I said, we're working on it together. We've been playtesting the game for about 4 or 5 months already. And we're constantly developing it, and with the help of Massa seeing our vision through, I think we have a game that's going to be very accessible and very unique at the same time. So definitely keep an eye out for that. It's the Kickstarter link is in the description. If you have a Kickstarter account, just click notify me on launch, and you'll get an email reminder as soon as the game launches. So as I said, it's probably going to be in the early summer. So we're looking at maybe two months or so for its release. We just got a few more things to iron out in terms of the Kickstarter, and then we'll be ready to go. Yeah, I haven't been keeping too much of an eye on the stream. It's good. Yeah, I'm gonna put Kyle's in the chat here. So that's his Twitter. Be sure to check him out. And we're gonna be doing a little bit more of this. This is our first live stream ever. I'm usually very, very uncomfortable about being on video, but hopefully I haven't been too awkward for you. But we're going to be doing more of this sort of thing going forward, especially to promote the upcoming game. So I think sometime in the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing another live stream that with Kyle, and we'll try to get some more information about how the game's played, give that to everyone, and maybe even like watch a few rounds get played so we can get a good understanding and talk about the design of it and like our objectives and goals in designing this game. We also want to do another session with Massa once we have some more artwork ready to go. So in the next month or so, hopefully we can have a live stream with Massa and he can share us some of the artwork. Does that sound okay with you, Massa?
Oh God, we're doing this again?
Next time is going to be a little less.
No, I'm kidding.
Going to be chatting. So
no, it's good. It will be a pleasure.
Okay.
I'll get some stuff ready.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So you haven't heard much from Mao recently, and actually, at some point, we had a couple other people jump into the Zoom chat. I don't know if you guys want to say anything, ask any questions. You're welcome to do that now.
Yeah, on Zoom we are looking fine here. Sorry, not Zoom, on YouTube. I don't see any other comments.
I think that's all we had to say about the game.
Yeah.
But
so we're about to wrap up with the scheduled session. So we scheduled from 19:30 to 21:30 to discuss the games and show you our products, just as a way for people that missed us at the game market to get an idea of what we are what we are and what we do. So I think we've hopefully accomplished that. This video will be available and the chat will be replayable, so you can always watch it again. If you have any questions that we haven't answered, just send me a tweet. My information is in the description. You can also send me an email at support@engrogames.com. I'm usually very responsive to email questions, so if you have any questions about the games or just about anything, just feel free to ask. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask the people in the Zoom call. Particularly, I don't know if Masa, you're welcome to join also, but Mao and Amy and Juju and Yasu, if you guys want to do a playthrough of Thru the Appalachian, we could do that now. Otherwise, we can just call it a day.
How do you feel if we do one of these sessions again, but just for a playthrough of Thru Appalachian?
Sure, we can do that.
What
does
and
Juju and
Yasu
Yasu have to say about that?
Well, I
We
must
agree
get
with
going.
Mao.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Masa, you're gonna leave?
I will have to get going.
Okay.
But
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And
oh, no, my pleasure. See you guys next time.
yes,
And you all have a good night.
you too.
You too.
Sorry about that. Juju, you were saying?
Oh, we agree with Mao. We want more attention on ourselves. So exclusive
so-
attention.
Okay, so we're gonna, for the people that are still watching, because the stream is still going, we're going to be scheduling a playthrough of Thru the Appalachian. I will let you know when that is. I'll post it on Twitter, and I'll post a live stream on YouTube that you can set a reminder for. So be sure to subscribe if you want to be notified of that, and also follow me on Twitter for any updates. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stream. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm Patrick. This
I'm
is Carolina. Thanks to Masa, who joined us, and a very special thank you to Mao, Amy, and Juju and Yasu for helping out with moderating the chat and asking questions and all that. And thank you to everyone who watched. See you very soon. Bye. Still going.